Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranja Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranja Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranja Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranja Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranja Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranja Bolo Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gora Haribo, Gora Haribo, Haribo, Gora Haribo. Jai Vishnu Parpam Hamsa Parevra Kacharya Stotra Sasha Srimad Divine Grace. ISKCON founder Acharya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitalila Pravista Om Vishnu Parpam Hamsa Parevra Kacharya Stotra Sasha Srimad Divine Grace. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindai Ki. Nam Acharya Brahmachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Primsaka Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrindai Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrinavan Dham Ki. Mathura Dham Ki. Dwaraka Dham Ki. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Ganges Mai Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Bhakta Devi Ki. Tulasa Devi Ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Thai Gaura Premanande. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories to some of the devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to the beautiful lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Narayana Namaskritya Naranjaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasan Tato Jayamudiraye Nastapraya Swabhadresu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Parvati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Agyanam Trimanandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksho Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Hyam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadvetam Savaduptam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Kopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakarpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Welcome everybody to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll be continuing our reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 7, text number 17, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Sanskrit recitation. Iti preyam valgu vichitra jarpai Sasantvayi tvachuta mitra sutta Abhadrava damsita ugradanva Kapi dvajo guru putram ratina Iti preyam vargu vichitra jarpai Sasantvayi tvachuta mitra sutta Anvadrava Dhamsita Ugradanva Kapidwajo Guru Putram Ratina Iti Priyam Vargo Vichitra Jalpai Sasantwa Jitwa Chuta Mitra Sutta Anvadra Damsita Ugra Dhanva Anvadra Damsita Ugra Dhanva Kapi Dwajo Guru Putram Ratina. Come try. Iti Preyam Vargu Vichitra Jalpai Sasantwa Yitwa Chuta Mitra Sutta Anvadrava Dhamsita Ugradanva Kapi Dwajo Guru Putram Ratina. Word for translation. Iti, thus, Priyam, unto the deer. Valgu, sweet. Vichitra, variegated. Jalpai, by statements. Sa, he. Santwayitwa, satisfying. Achuta Mitra Sutaha, Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as a friend and driver. Anvadravat, followed. Dhamsitaha, being protected by Kavacha. Ugra Dhamva, equipped with fierce weapons. Kapi Dwaja, Arjuna. Guru Putram, the son of the martial teacher. Ratena, getting on the chariot. Translation by Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as a friend and driver, thou hast satisfied the dear lady. By such statements. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with fierce weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Aswatthama, the son of his martial teacher. Okay, go to the 18. Tam apatantam sa vilakshya durat kumara hudvitna manaratina paradravat prana paripsur urvyam yavad gaman rudra bhayadyataka. Word for translation. Tam, him. Apatantam, coming very furiously. Saha, he. Vilaksya, seen. Durat, from a distance. Kurumaha, the murderer of the princess. Udvigna manaha, disturbed in mind. Ratena, on the chariot. Paradvavat, fled. Prana, life. Paripsu, by protecting. Urvyam, with great speed. Yavat Gaman, as he fled. Rudra Bhayat, by the fear of Shiva. Yatha, as. Kaha, Brahma, or Araka, Surya. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Aswatthama, the murderer of the princes, seen from a great distance, Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic-stricken just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Lord Shiva. Purport. According to the reading matter, either Kaha or Adhikaha, there are two references in the Puranas. Kaha means Brahma, who once became allured. Kaha means Brahma, who once became allured by his daughter and began to follow her, which infuriated Shiva, who attacked Brahma with his trident. Brahmaji fled in fear of his life. As far as Arka is concerned, there is a reference in the Vamana Puran. There was a demon by the name Vidyonmali, who was gifted with a glowing golden airplane, which traveled to the back of the sun, and nights disappeared because of the glowing effulgence of. Okay. There was a demon by the name Vidyonmali, who was gifted with a glowing golden airplane, which traveled to the back of the sun, and nights disappeared because of the glowing effulgence of his plane. Thus the sun god became angry, and with his virulent rays he melted the plane. This enraged Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva then attacked the sun god, who fled away and at last fell down at Varanasi, and the place became famous as Lularika. Hare Krishna. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutalashite Bhakti Duyana Rabadharita Rabadharita Shri Bhakti Tita Shavana Bhavana Vatani Savara Savabhaktanam Savraksha Vidayani Shri Krishna Guranga Gaji Savara Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangmula Gai Tekiri Laskapata Mahamande Shri Gurum Dina Tarana. Hare Krishna. So from the verse 17, we could understand Arjuna's preparedness to face Aswatthama. And it was translated that then he dressed in his armor and armed himself with fierce weapons. Getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Aswatthama, the son of his martial teacher. So Aswatthama was a son of Arjuna's guru, his guru in the art of militia or the military art. And being the son of his guru, he also had the same respect as the Pandavas had for their guru personally. But with the activity of Aswatthama, he has lost his qualification as a Brahmana. He has lost his qualification as a son of a Brahmana. And he has lost his qualification of all his, the value which he had from the Pandavas, because he was the son of their very, the beloved guru. So Aswatthama lost all his piety or whatever was valuable for him to be able to save his life in this difficult situation. So it is said Arjuna mounted his chariots fully armored and chased after Aswatthama, just like a wild animal pounces on its prey. So Aswatthama, seeing Arjuna coming from a distance, he realized that his death is close. So he also took to his chariot and started running. And Arjuna was facing him and was chasing him with great speed. So the knowledge which was given was that of Lord Shiva fleeing from fear of, Lord Brahma fleeing from the fear of Lord Shiva, because in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained that there was a time where Lord Brahma, who is Dvija, who is he is the foremost personality in this material world as far as creation is concerned. And he actually created everything. Everything was done by Brahma's, creation spirit, by the empowerment of Lord Vishnu. But then Brahma, who is the most exalted personality in this material world, even got bewildered. They said that Brahma got carried away by lust, that he was chasing his own daughter. And this was when Lord Shiva saw this scene, he became furious why Brahma was acting in such a way. So he chased Brahma with his trident, trying to correct him from his misdeed. So Brahma, seeing what was happening, started to flee out of fear. So we could see that even Brahma, who is it's not like Brahma is far more intelligent than any of us. And we have only one head. Brahma has 4 heads. His mind, his intelligence, everything is a million and billion times powerful than us. But even Brahma, who is an exalted personality, who is the foremost amongst the demigods, even Brahma got bewildered. And then there was a need for a senior brother to correct him. That is for Shiva. So sometimes in the material world or in our Krishna consciousness, we may sometimes sway from the right path. We may sometimes be overwhelmed by the distractions of the material world and lose our focus. But then it takes a good friend or one who is very, who really has our interest at heart to try to correct us and put us in the right place. So that was what Lord Shiva did. He tried to correct Brahma by chasing after him with his trident. And Brahma could realize that he was actually doing something wrong and he needed to correct his consciousness. Joy. So similarly, Aswatthama was chased seriously by Arjuna, and he had to run and flee for his life. So in the purport, Prabhupada said, according to the reading matter, either Ka or Arka, there are 2 references in the Purana. Ka means Brahma, who once became allured by his daughter and began to follow her, which infuriated Shiva, who attacked Brahma with his trident. Brahmaji fled in fear for his life. As far as Arka is concerned, there is reference in the Vamana Puran. There was a demon named Vidyunmatli. These demons when they get mystic powers or they get some material things, they become puffed up and they want to rub shoulders with superior authorities. They want to rub shoulders with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this demon, it is said that he got gifted with a very powerful airplane, which was golden, which was full of effulgence or light. And what he was doing was that he was hiding behind the sun. That whenever the sun, for example, here, let's say in Ghana, at 6 o'clock GMT, the sun will set and the whole place will be dark. But then that is a time where this demon will also come in, and it will look as if there is no darkness or there is no night, because he always follows behind the sun. And when the sun leaves, he comes to fill the gap. And this really infuriated the sun god, Surya. So Surya also, it is said that Surya melted him with the rays of the sun. And it gives an understanding of how bright, how powerful, how hot the sun is. Prabhupada explained that the sun globe is a planet itself. The sun is a fiery planet. And there are living entities on the sun planet who are also living a life like we are also living our life on the earthly planet. Just like on the earthly planet, we have The dominant element in the earth is earth. So all of us are having an earthly body to be able to survive on this earth. Similarly, those entities living in the sun planets, it is a heavenly planet, and the living entities living in the heavenly planets, which is called the sun, they have a fiery body, and because of that fiery body, they can be able to stay on that planet. So it is not something which is far-fetched. It's not something which sounds imaginary, or it is practical. There are other living entities who also have water bodies, who are also staying. For example, they said that the moon is very cool. That is why sometimes when we are trying to explain or talk about the lotus feet of Krishna, we say Krishna's lotus feet is as cool as millions of moons. Because the moon has, by nature, a cooling effect. So those who are living on the moon planets, we should also know that they have that body to be able to exist in that environment. So when the scientists claim that they go to the moon, it is difficult to understand, because the temperature in the moon is different. It is far much more colder than that of the earth. And life there, they go and they say there is no life there. It is just sand which is there. But that is not practical. That is what the Vedas say. The Vedas says that there are also living entities there, living life, having wives, children, home, like we also have in here. Defending, mating, eating, sleeping. All the living entities are also undergoing all these material activities there. So it gives an understanding that they are alive in other planets, and they are also active, they are also doing their service. For example, in the sun planets, they said that the predominant deity in the sun planet is Surya Narayan, this Vishnu himself, and he's being worshipped. That is the presiding deity of the sun planet, and from him the effulgence of the sun comes. So Aswatthama, in this regard, his days are numbered. And all of us, we should have that in our mind, that just as we are hearing that Arjuna is being chased by, Aswatthama is being chased by Arjuna, similarly, all of us are being chased by death. That from all directions, death is chasing us. And the moment that this material body stops, or our time in the material world stops to tick, that is when death will pounce on us, and then our life in this lifetime will cease to exist. So we should not be seeing this as only the life of Aswatthama, but then as jivas in the material world, our days are also numbered. We are all being chased by this wild animal of death. That the moment that our time in the material world stops ticking, then we'll cease to continue on this lifetime. So we should try to utilize all our energy, our mind, intelligence, whatever resources that Krishna has given us in the service of the Lord. And that is the only way we are going to attain happiness. Otherwise, there is no question of peace. We could understand even Brahma. Brahma in Brahmaloka is much more peaceful than here. There is no demonstration, there is no conflict, there is no drought, there is no civil war and all this stuff. But even Brahma had to suffer being chased by Lord Shiva. So it gives an understanding that the material world, like Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, every step there is danger. That even the highest planets in the material world, which is known as the Brahma Loka or the Deva Dham, even such places are still filled with mysteries. So we should not aspire to want to go to heaven, or we should not aspire to try to be Brahma, but then we should try to, this lifetime, Prabhupada said it is possible that we can perfect our lives and go back home, back to Godhead. That is the expectations of our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada. He has made a movement in such a way that we can easily get that, which is very difficult to attain in other yugas and in other organizations actually. So we should take full advantage of the message that Prabhupada is giving us. Just like this morning we are reading the Bhagavatam, to remind ourselves that, life is not just about waking up, trying to find our daily bread, and once we get our daily bread, we eat, we sleep, we mate, we try to reproduce, and we defend our family, we defend our resources, then we die. That is not the purpose of life. But the purpose of life is to be able to understand that there's a supreme goal, which is to go back, come back to Godhead, to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to render our lives under His lotus feet, under His care, and utilize whatever we have available in His service. And that is what we should do as human beings. So proper design is the consciousness that we read Srimad Bhagavatam every day, we read the Bhagavad Gita, we read all the scriptures, associate with devotees, take darshan of the deities, do be present in Mangalarati, do these daily pujas. The purpose of all these things are to direct our consciousness towards Krishna. And that is what we should be looking for. So we should always be mindful, like this, that we should take lesson from what happened to Aswatthama, and we should know that just as Arjuna is chasing Aswatthama, just as Lord Shiva is chasing Brahma, just as Surya is chasing Vijunmali, similarly, death in the guise of time is also chasing us. And when our cup is full, we are going to have to quit this material body. And if we don't try to remember Krishna at that point of transition, and then we would have to take another body. But then we should understand that we have been doing this for so many lifetimes, trying to take different bodies, but then they don't really give us that satisfaction that we are looking for. Sometimes we think that being a fish will make us happy. We have the body of an aquatic, we are not happy. Sometimes we think that being in the body of an elephant will make us high and mighty, or being in the body of a lion. But still we realize that such bodies do not still give us that happiness that we require. So the best is that we surrender our lives to Krishna, utilize everything in the service of Krishna, and go back home, back to Godhead, and be happy. And that is what we should do. Hare Krishna. So we end here. If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to ask. Okay, in the absence of any question or comments, we end the class here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jaga Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Haribo. So it's back to you, ki jai.